Hi babes, welcome to Hamilton's Halogen, and this is your friend, Carrie Hamilton. This is a place where darkness meets illumination and truth becomes your turning point. Just like a halogen light burns brighter and hotter to reveal darkness, this podcast is about bringing light into places that many avoid. If you've ever felt lost in the dark, this space is for you. It's time to stop surviving and start shining. Hey, good morning. All right, you guys, I have so much juicy information that I'm going to have to do like 100 videos over the next whatever weeks because way too much information, way too much to share. But I think this is going to save lives. This is going to save lives. I truly believe it. Okay, let's begin. You're not going to see my whole perspective. You're not going to understand the this is going to save lives aspect yet, but follow me. If this interests you after this video, follow me for more and more and more. And I'm going to keep going on and on and on and just follow the chain of videos after this. But to begin, so as many of you know, I have been furthering my education in the scientific aspect of how the mind, the body, all of that works, how it works into food, your immunity, and blah, 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 okay? I've always hated math, but I've always loved science. And when I say science, I'm putting it under one big umbrella of, chemistry, biology, physiology, blah, 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 okay? So I am also one of evidence and proof and justification, information, and so forth when I talk about these things because they all tie together and I want to know the why. I want, when you say something, why do you feel that way? Is it a belief? Is it a past experience? Or is it the truth, right? There's three different ways to interpret things. Okay. So unfortunately, because I hate math so much, science and math kind of intertwine with each other. So there are some mathematical things that I have to study because of the fact that the scientific part crossover and so forth. Well, let's just stick to the basics right now. So I have been studying how humans began, what brought us to where we are today, and going back thousands and thousands of decades and centuries and so forth, history altogether. And this is going to blow your dang mind. Okay, listen. So we all know about in the Bible the story of Adam and Eve, they ate the apple, evil came, blah, 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 blah. You guys, it's horseshit. It is total horseshit. Let me explain, okay? Now, when they say, I want you guys to understand this before I start going, I am not here to exnate anyone's beliefs. I'm not here for ignorance. I'm not here for negativity. I'm not here for telling someone's wrong and right and whatever. I'm here to give basic knowledge, information, evidence, proof, scientific, literal information. You do as you please with it. If I degrade or talk down on something because I'm analyzing it to this truth, please know I'm not meaning this anything personal towards you. Again, take what you will and run with it. I am giving this information because once this knowledge starts going in everyone's heads, you are going to see how effed up we are programmed and how much the truth is hidden. And I think that once all of this goes out, and as I do video after video after video, you guys are going to start seeing that the diversity in this world is a structured, controlled based system. We are all programmed under the system, and reality and the truth shall come to light and set you free. Okay, now listen. Okay, Adam and Eve, right? The symbolic perspective of Adam and Eve is that Adam is awareness, mankind. Eve is life, intuition, creation. The garden is harmony. And the fall is the emergence of the ego, suffering, and self-awareness. Okay, so that's the symbolic aspect of it. Okay, so now behind me I have this is just my notes, and I'm going to reference this, so just ignore it. I know you can't see it, it's backwards and blah, 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 but I need this information because it's so much, and like I said, this is evidence, this is proof, and this is just so forth. So, back to Adam and Eve, right? I'm so excited, you guys, don't mind me, okay? So scientific genetic breakdown. So this is proven documentation. You can look it up your dang on self, okay? They call Eve mitochondrial Eve. The reason that they state this is because every human inherits mitochondrial DNA from their mother. Then they call the man, Adam, Y chromosome Adam. Why do they do this? Because men inherit the Y chromosome from their fathers. But this is the butt kicker, ready? Scientists traced all living humans' mitochondrial DNA backwards to one ancestral woman. She likely lived in Africa about 100 to 200,000 years ago. And for men, they traced back that men inherit the Y chromosome from their fathers, tracing paternal lines backwards, and it leads to one ancestral male who also lived in Africa about 120 to 300 years ago. So when they say God, Jesus, whatever is Jewish and so forth, and now it all makes sense why they wanted to deplete the African heritage, the African American heritage, why it was always black versus white and all the diversity in this world, because they didn't want us to know the powerful Adam and Eve concept and where our ancestral begins in Africa through the African American heritage. Now hear me out. Now we got to go into the math part that I hate, right? Mathematical side of ancestry is, let's just say A equals 2N, okay? So one generation equals 2 parents, and then 2 generations equals 4 grandparents. You with me? Then 10 will be 1,000, like 24 ancestors, and then 20 would be like 1,000,000 ancestors, right? Every human alive shares the same common ancestry. So we all have all the way back, we begin with African American heritage. Studies show that there were not a couple, that they were not the only humans alive, and they represent the surviving genetic lineages. This is why they want to deplete the African American whole entire ancestry, because they are the strongest surviving genetic lineage that is around today. Evidence of this is several thousands of individuals are actually, it was never just a man and a woman that started life. It actually showed in population genetics that scientists have literally proven that every human did not begin from just 2 individuals biologically, okay? The evidence shows that there was thousands of individuals, and over time, the lineages began to disappear. This created that whole Adam and Eve concept. You guys. Are you guys crazy? Are you guys like me, right? This is nuts. So the scientific bottom line is that humans evolved hundreds of thousands of years ago, and genetically tracing, it all points to a common maternal and paternal ancestry, which is in Africa. So the conscious and the duality of it is that before the fruit, humans existed in unity, and this is where we need to get back to. I will explain in further videos all this, how it all ties together. So follow me if this is interesting you and you want more, because I'm going into literally the scientific part of it, the mathematical part of it, the spiritual awakening part of it, and what people mean by being awake and so forth. But then after the fruit is humans perceived the opposites. So that's where good and evil was discovered, shame and pride, love and fear, life and death. This is the birth of the dualistic consciousness. So basically it was separated into 2 consciousness so that they can control, manipulate, divide. And philosophers often interpret this as humanity becoming psychologically awake. So this is what they mean when they say, wake up people, because gone are the days of racism. Gone are the days of you living in those past beliefs that your grandparents and ancestries and so forth had placed, because they wanted to make that divide. They wanted everyone to be not in unity, because when we are in unity, we are strong. And the people that are ruling this world and the people that are the higher ups, they are living the 7 deadly sins, the greed, the all of that, you guys. We have to become united, and I'm going to explain in videos to come exactly how we're going to do that and how we are going to gain our power back. But this is what it means to become spiritually awakened, or even just philosophy, the psychological aspect of us becoming awake, because this is it. This is going to, it's going to make us together in one, in love, exactly where we're supposed to be. Love yourself and your neighbor. Not to mention, this is also why they started to put the divide between the men and the women, because when they started seeing that the intimacy was becoming strength, because even when you are healing your deepest wounds, you have to get to that intimate level. As I've said a million times, you have to feel to heal. And when people are partners and they become stronger, they get to that intimate level. So people were starting to realize that, hey, we need this divide. We need everyone to be in fear and hate themselves and hate life, and see that there's a million different things that people have that are better and richer and, whatever, basically dangling the diamonds in front of everyone's face for them to jump at them. And when they see that their current situations are horrible, they want to jump to those, wonderful things outside of themselves, not within themselves. And so that is also why they started to then say, oh, well, you can't have sex until you get married. And, all of that became a big thing, because that was a way to divide. That was a way to hold off that communication and that connection, just as they wanted to present it, as it was Adam and Eve, and not the feminine and the masculine together, which is the strongest power that there is out there. Wake up. Whether Adam or Eve were literal, symbolic, or both, one truth remains. Humanity has always been searching for connection, purpose, and oneness. Maybe the real awakening begins when we stop dividing science, spirituality, and history and start understanding ourselves. It's time to start doing some soul searching and start to find yourself, who you are authentically, and one in oneness. Thank you for joining me today. See you again soon, love.